Have you ever wished you could be unshakable? Someone who doesn't fall apart when they're criticized, rejected, or betrayed? Have you ever dreamed of the day when you'd stop pretending to be fine, when the pain inside you would finally go quiet? If this sounds like you, then keep watching till the end, because this might be the video that changes everything. We all carry silent pain. Pain we've learned to hide behind a smile, behind strength, behind the image of someone who has it all together. But what if I told you something that most people are too afraid to say? The more you try to avoid pain, the more it controls you. The more you numb yourself to avoid being hurt, the more you become trapped. Trapped by people's opinions, by rejection, by silence. This isn't weakness. This is the reality for most of us. Some people are just better at pretending. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, said, "We are not what happens to us. We are what we choose to become." And that's where real strength begins. It's not about becoming cold or untouchable. It's about facing what's inside. It's about bringing the hidden pain into the light, because true strength is not about the absence of pain. It's about knowing exactly who you are, even when you're still healing. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're tired. Tired of trying to be everything for everyone. Tired of keeping up the act. Tired of being hurt so easily and not knowing why. You feel like others have some power over you, and it doesn't make sense. Let me show you something important. But I'll be honest, it might hurt a little. And maybe that's what will finally set you free. You think what's hurting you is out there. The words people said, the betrayal you didn't expect, the rejection you couldn't explain. But here's the truth. None of that actually has the power to break you. Unless there's already a wound inside you that hasn't healed, it's not what happens to you. It's what those things awaken within you. Your pain comes from the stories you've been telling yourself, from old wounds that were never faced, from the emptiness you cover with pride, control, or the need to seem fine. Jung taught that what hurts us on the outside is often a reflection of what we haven't faced on the inside. That's why two people can experience the same thing, and one crumbles while the other stays calm. It's not about what happened. It's about where it hits you. And here's something tough to admit. You still suffer so much because you believe you can control how the world treats you. You try to be enough, kind enough, strong enough, smart enough, hoping it'll protect you from being hurt. But that kind of control is an illusion. If you want to stop suffering, stop trying to protect yourself from pain. You don't need more control. You need more awareness. As long as you think people need to change for you to be okay, you'll always be a prisoner to their behavior. But your freedom begins when you realize nothing outside of you has power unless it finds something inside you to latch onto. That's where the real battle is, inside the unconscious. The parts of you that you don't understand will continue to control your life. Carl Jung said it best. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That's exactly what's happening when you feel overwhelmed, angry, or sad, and you don't even know why. These feelings aren't random. They're signals. They come from parts of you that are still in pain. The unconscious holds your past trauma, fears, hidden memories, and deep desires. The more you ignore it, the more power it has. It shows up in toxic patterns, anxiety, and self-sabotage. You're not unlucky. You're just unaware of what's really going on inside you. Do you want to stop getting hurt so easily? Then stop running from yourself. Because until you face your own unconscious wounds, you'll always be controlled by them. And the more you try to protect yourself from the outside world, the more fragile you become inside. But there is a way out, and it doesn't come from building walls. It comes from integration, from truly knowing yourself. Being untouchable isn't about resisting life. It's about fully accepting who you are. Most people think that emotional strength means being unaffected. That's not true. Real emotional strength is when nothing surprises you about yourself anymore. When you've looked at your own fear, anger, insecurity, and made peace with it. Then, when life hits you, it doesn't break you. You may feel pain, but it doesn't control you. Carl Jung called this process individuation. It's not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. You don't need to be a better person. You just need to be a complete one. Light and dark, joy and pain, strength and softness. You've been running from pain your whole life. You were told it's weak to cry. That suffering should be avoided. That showing emotions makes you fragile. So you tried to hide your pain. But pain doesn't disappear. It just changes shape. It turns into anxiety, anger, sadness, self-doubt. Pain only stops hurting when we understand what it's trying to show us. Carl Jung once said, "Depression is like a woman in black. If she appears, don't send her away. Invite her in, offer her a seat, and listen to what she has to say." But instead of listening, we silence ourselves, we distract ourselves, we stay busy, we ignore what's crying out inside us. Suffering only feels unbearable when you're at war with yourself. There's a part of you that wants to grow, and another part that wants everything to stay the same. That inner battle, that's where your pain comes from. But pain isn't the enemy. It's a message. It's the beginning of your transformation. When your old self starts falling apart, it's scary. But that's when you finally see who you really are. Without the mask, the performance, the pressure. And that's sacred, because that's when healing begins. Real healing is not pretty. It's messy, it's lonely, but it sets you free. Few people have the courage to go this deep, even fewer make it all the way through. Why? Because individuation doesn't make your ego feel safe. It destroys it. But in the fire, you are forged. You stop needing validation. You stop reacting to everything. You start living from a deeper place. You become untouchable not because you feel nothing, but because you've already faced everything inside yourself. That's what makes you free. And yes, it's a lonely road, not because no one cares, but because few are willing to go that deep. Most people are still wearing masks, living on the surface. But you're not most people. Not if you've come this far. This path of awareness may feel hard, but it gives you something no one can ever take. Clarity. And clarity is the ultimate shield. The world won't stop hurting you. But when you understand your inner world, the outer world loses its power. You still feel, but you don't fall. You still get hurt, but you don't get lost. You stop surviving and start living. So don't run from life anymore. Dive into it. Because the deeper you go, the stronger you become. And now, here's your moment. If this message spoke to something deep inside you, if something clicked, write "I choose awareness" in the comments. Let's create a space for people ready to stop pretending and start living with truth. Watch the next video to keep going. The journey has just begun.